Hello, everyone. This is Sister Roland, and all I need is a few minutes in another podcast. May need a few long minutes because of the topic that we're going to discuss. I did a video, I did a live, and today we're doing a podcast on the backlash, the controversy, the back and forth of a interview Eboni Williams, who is a lawyer and also a host on the Rio, which is like a media company, let's say. And she had this conversation with Iyanla Vanzant, who is like a motivational speaker. She's also a lawyer. And if you did not know, maybe I'll put the snippet of what made everybody mad. Well, not everybody, but some people got mad. Some people were triggered. Some people was like, "You go, girl." And then, though that was, what she said, she would not date a bus driver. But somehow, black women standards were dragged into this. Don't know why. But let's take a look at the video.
Would you date a bus driver? Would you date
if he owns the bus? If he owns it. If he owns the bus,
See, that's a problem. That's a problem.
Okay, so you heard the snippet of what made a lot of people mad. So the fact that, she is a very attractive lady, and then she's stating that she will not date the bus driver unless he is the owner. And, you know, as I don't know if you have ever played that game where they start, like they have a good amount of people, and then they tell this person what it is, whatever they want to pass around, and you tell it to the other person in their ear. By the time it gets to the end, what was originally said, that's not what was what is when the person asks what did I say, that's not what was said at all. So that is what happened here. So she just said that she wouldn't date the bus driver unless he's the bus owner, and people just took it out of proportion. Many people were saying, it's the way she said it, the demeanor that she had. It's because she have a juris doctorate. Guess that's what you get when you become a lawyer. And she thinks she better. Oh, look at she's saying all kind of stuff. In her response video, you're gonna hear what she was saying. It was a lot of craziness. But then with her response video, the response video, what I think is the response video, I believe is, the Griot is approaching 100,000 subscribers. Because when I first heard about this new viral story, they were at 67, I think 67K. Now they at 79. So they're approaching 100K. And after that snippet of Iyanla asking Ebony if she would date a bus driver, after that went viral, she stated that one of the most that video was one of the most watched, the video that got most engagement. So they gonna milk it, as if you went viral, you probably would milk it too. So get your coin, sis. So I think she was more in character, because even though it was not obvious, but you can, okay, it was not obvious, but she was reading off something. She was reading off something. So I think she put a little bit of drama and wittiness and controversy, so people could keep talking, because now her name is trending. It's a viral story, you know, she need more traction, so to build up to that 100K. So she did a response video because of the backlash that she received of her preference, basically. That is her preference. So we're gonna listen to, I don't know, the whole video or maybe a snippet, just a snippet of it. Because now sometimes when people go viral, child, they be acting like can't use my content. But anyway, let's listen to what she had to say.
I am a professional disruptor, so Backlash is my business. And I will always take it on the chin for the sake of advancing the work, conversation, or movement. So know that I am completely unfazed by the onslaught of nasty comments, wishing me a sad, lonely, bitter existence until my untimely death. Now, that is some weird energy to be wishing onto a black woman, especially one who has dedicated her life to the liberation of black folk. But, you know, whatever. I guess go off. See, I wanted to talk about how do we close the gap between black women who do show up in a so-called masculine posture, those of us that are providing and building and protecting due to circumstances that we might feel make us feel that if we don't do it for ourselves, we will have to go without the resources and protections we need to feel safe in this world. But Dr. Iyanla went in a different direction. She asked me a personal question. And y'all know I have been extremely transparent about the fact that my life choices and my chosen lifestyle are far outside of the norm. So when I said that I would date the bus owner, a lot of y'all heard something different. Some of you heard the following. Bus drivers are whack. Bus drivers are broke. Oh, and I'm too good for a bus driver. The only thing is, y'all made that part up. See, I said what I said. But then some of y'all started talking about salaries and hourly wages, pensions and benefits. And that's wild because I was never talking about money at all. I was talking about black ownership, but some of y'all made it about money. I'm talking about ownership, black enterprise and entrepreneurship because really I am talking about black liberation. And if you read my book, you'll understand why. So I'm standing 10 toes down on that position, and I don't really care if you're hurt or offended by it. And since some of y'all are already big mad, let me go ahead and make you incensed. So out of the 50,000 plus comments posted on social, I only saw a handful that even considered the possibility of a bus owner being a more aspirational position and recognizing that I am actually speaking and pouring into the ascension of black men when I said what I said. But see, no, some of y'all were too busy naming and shaming me personally and black women in general as undesirable, gold diggers, and much worse. Now, I suspect that some of y'all are the same men that were bringing home C's and D's on your report cards, only to then be coddled by parents that said, well, that's okay, as long as you're doing your best. Well, listen, I love and believe in the excellence of black men. So no, my dear, C's and D's or any other form of mediocrity is not okay. No, I will not create a soft place for you or anybody that I love to fall comfortably into the bigotry of low expectations. So I'm going to say one more time, there's absolutely nothing wrong with driving a bus. My mother Gloria drove one for years. But could it be that black America has been sold a narrative of average, regular, and typical being good enough for us? Well, see, that's called white supremacy. And in this case, it takes the form of conditioning black Americans to happily accept being a permanent American underclass. But see, because I know the truth about black folk in America, no, average is not and will never be good enough for me. And the gag is, I don't think it's good enough for you either.
So you heard that response video. So, like I said, if you watch when she was talking to Iyanla, and then with this response video, that's her being in character. Because she was acting ghetto, but still classy. You know, still classy. I'm going to gather you guys together, but very classy-like. So that's why I say she was in character. But to do this podcast, we will we will consider that this is exactly her sentiments. It may, some parts of it may be her actual sentiments, but there are parts she was sensationalizing it. So we go even more viral. But get your coin, sis. So it's unfortunate that's the only part of that conversation that she had with Dr. Iyanla Vanzant. That's the only part that went viral. It was a lot of things that was said in that interview. Like one important thing that she did say, you know, in my live and in my video, I did say that, she did work her way out of poverty. She had to do what she had to do with not a lot of help, and particularly from her father, because she was like, men have not really showed up. Men have not really showed up in her life in a sense that she can count on them. She always had to do it on her own. So this is my thing. If you want to be married, if you want to, some people don't want to be married, but if you want to have a life partner and you have all of your life, you have never have a man that you can rely on. You have never have men that you can count on, that come through for you, that you could go to sleep and he got this. You got to change your mindset. Because if you don't, you're going to have to renew your mindset. You're going to have to renew your mindset, because even if you find that man, or if you're a guy, even if you find that woman, if you never renew your mindset, you always in the back of your mind, you're always gonna be like, yeah. Any little thing the person do, you're gonna say, oh yeah, you see, unreliable. I can't count on them. You tell the person to do something for them, and maybe they probably taking too long, or they said they could do it tomorrow because they have something else to do. Oh no, I can do it by myself. You don't even give them a chance to mess up. You already gave them 3 strikes and they're out. So what you have been, I can't relate to that, because I've surrounded, I have had men that have disappointed me, that have not come through for me. But I have had men that I could rely on, that I can close my eyes and know that I ask them for something, I ask them to do something for me. Hey, can you come here with me to do this or fix this for me? I know they will come through. Not all, but there are some men I know that I can, I can deduce, I can separate the men that are reliable and the men that are not reliable in my life. But some women, they cannot do that, because their mind is still wired that men are not reliable. Men have never been reliable. Men will never be reliable for you, because you never change your mindset. You have to renew. That's why the Bible says you have to renew your mind, because it's a lot of programming that we have acquired through our surroundings, our environment, TV, media, people, friends, and different things like that. That's not good. That's not good for your future. And this Ebony is going for 40, I believe, in September. And she's looking, because when she was asking the different questions, she was asking Iyanla different questions, what she needs to do. She has accomplished all these things, but then she is finding it so hard to find a mate that is compatible, that can complement her. But sometimes do you have a renewing of your mind? How do you get a renewing of your mind? You get new knowledge. You understand. You get to learn of the opposite sex. Like your woman, you get to learn about the opposite sex, and not from women, because I see a lot of women pushing stuff like they know men. You don't know nothing about men. Some stuff that you see, even though I say some stuff about men, but where did I get it from? From the men in my life. And that's what I'm sharing with you guys. But some women, they talk like they know. What they say is law. We have to know what is a man? What is the purpose of a man? Today I heard one lady, she shared as a short, oh, men are only good for finances. Maybe the men that you dated, men that you dealt with, is only good for finances. Men are much more than that. Just like a woman is not only good for what's between her legs, a woman is more than that. That's why the Bible calls a woman a helpmate. And the Bible gives more roles for a man. But of course, we don't read our Bible. We go by what society says. This is what a man is. What is a man to you? What is a man supposed to do? What is his purpose? What do you think? As a woman, I'm talking to you. As a woman, what is a man to you? What is his purpose? What is his purpose in society? What is his purpose in a family? What is his purpose to you? What is your opinion of what a man is and what his purpose is? And there has to be a standard, whether it's societal standards, whether it's from your family standards, whether it's from biblical standards. There has to be a standard that you have to compare it to. Your opinion of a man, what you think a man is, what you think a man's supposed to do for you, and different things like that, and you compare it. You compare it to a standard, an established standard. And you may take one of those standards, two of those standards, and put them all together and get to know what a man is and what you're looking for. But if you don't have that, you just think, oh, a man is just good for finances. If you think a man is just good for finances, then you're just going to pick any man that has money. And then you're not going to look further. Okay, yes, okay, yeah, you got finances. What else do you have? What else can you offer? So what are you going to compare your opinion of a man? And then first of all, before you even compare your opinion, where did you get your opinions from? Because sometimes we get our opinions from TV, from other women, and sometimes these other women are maybe bitter and resentful because they have not had good relationships with men. So you say, girl, man is this, man is that, man, they no good. Girl, when you see he doing this, he cheating. When you see he doing that, he no good. When you see he doing this, he that. And it's not even from the right source. So first of all, you need to check where you got your opinions of. And sometimes you can't even use your opinions. You're gonna have to immediately go to a standard, whether it's societal standards, because some people, what society says they're gonna go with. Whether it's your family, your family said you need to look for a man who's this, and this, according to your family standards. Now, if you go into a biblical standard, the Bible says this is what a man's supposed to do. This is what he's supposed to do. This is what he's supposed to do. And then even go into more, a husband. This is what a husband's supposed to do. This is what, because the Bible covers all that. This is what a father supposed to do. This is what a father. So you have all that if you're going to use biblical standards. And then with all those information, then you formulate and say, you know what, this is, and then you need to know who you are. Do you know who you are? Do you know what type, if you don't know who you are, you won't know what type of man you're going to need. What type of man you need to look for. What type of man you need to position, not to look for, because you're not supposed to be looking for the man, but what type of man you're supposed to position yourself so that he could find you. Or pray for. Because sometimes, some people, not everybody prays, but you position yourself. I'm looking for this type of man, and these type of men frequent these type of places and stuff like that. And then and these type of places, I'm gonna go and position myself. Whoever, and some women, they go shoot their shot, do your thing, child. Let's see how well that works for you. And position yourself so who's ever interested will come and talk to you. And then spend time with this person, talk to this person, and I think we can, move forward. And remember, you're never going to get everything that you're looking for. You never. Because there's no perfect man, there's no perfect woman. But at least it's somebody, we could work it out. We could work it out. So we have to change our mindset. Sometimes our mindset has been distorted, it has been hurt, it has been traumatized at a young age, and we have developed opinions and some of our standards and preferences come from our traumas and from the traumas of others too. So she did, in the response, she's like, average, regular, and typical is not good enough for her, and it's not good enough for other people. But everybody's not going to get an above average person. Everybody's not going to get an above regular, above typical. Some people will get average. And like I shared in the video where the young lady was saying, there's nothing wrong with average. As long as this is the person that is able to go through life with you, you can make it work. Because, now is there are a lot of women, with platforms, and then of course, they have people that follow and that share the same sentiments. You know what? They're in their 20s, they're in their 30s, maybe when you're in your 40s, you have a good job, you you have everything that you basically need. You don't need no man. I don't need no man. I don't need no kids. Okay? There are some people, yeah, you not probably God probably didn't call you to get married or whatever, but that's not for everybody. And remember, all those things, when we stop the natural order, there are repercussions for that. Just to let you know, since you pushing this agenda, because and then sometimes you have to examine people's motives. Sometimes, well, you can't. Sometimes you don't want to know people's motives, but there are certain agendas that are being pushed, certain movements that are being pushed. There's an agenda behind it. Sometimes the person is pushing, oh, I don't need a man. I'm single. I could get married if I want, or if I don't want to get married, I'm just gonna say single because I'm good. I don't need a man. I got a good job and stuff like that. And those are people. The person that they wanted dumped them. They found out they can't have any kids, so they have ulterior motives. And then they have a platform, and then they push in the thing, and then you're right there behind them, following them. You don't know where they're speaking from. They could be speaking from hurt. They could be speaking from pain. They could be speaking from disappointment. But granted, every careless word that you have spoken on this earth, you will answer to each and every careless word that you have spoken on this earth. That goes for me and everybody that have somebody that they have influence on, whether it's one person, two-person. Every careless word, every word that you push out there, you will have to answer for the words that you have put out in this world. So anyway, so when you in your 20s, 30s, and you do have a good job, you don't necessarily, because people who say that is because they only think men are good for money and then procreation. That's it. But men, if you knew, men are more than that, because you're supposed to have a covering, and the covering is not only financial, but y'all know better, right? So anyway, when you're in your 20s and your 30s, you could say that you don't need a man, whatever. Not understanding your nature as a woman. And then people who say that, you can tell you guys don't know who you are, because your nature as a woman, your nature as a man, even men say that, oh no, I don't need men. Why do I need a woman for? I don't need no woman, because you guys don't understand your nature. When the Bible said it is not good for a man to be alone, you think it's just the men. Oh, that's why they can't never stay alone. They always need to have somebody. But in the original language of the Bible, it's mankind. It's not good for mankind to be alone. God did not create us to be alone. But you put it off. because you don't need it, because you established, you got everything, and you got your toys, just in case you got urges, you get your little toys, right? But you can say that in your 20s and 30s, in your 40s, but there's gonna time that's gonna come. It's not gonna be the same. And that's them seeing people, pushing, y'all don't need no man. Guard your wombs at all costs, ladies, until they meet the person that they want. And then they backtracking. Oh, um, when I was saying that, I was lost. I was coming out of a bad breakup. That's why I was saying those stuff. But now I found the one, and he healed my heart. That's when a lot of them are gonna start backtracking, y'all. I'm gonna wait. So anyway, when you get in your 40s, 50s, 60s, you're not gonna have the same rhetoric. You're not, because then you fall, and then you open yourself up to fall prey to someone I would call DJ. I know somebody that names DJ. He has a hustle. What is his hustle? And he stays in shelters for weeks at a time, weeks at a time. But while he's in the shelter, he's working on a new hustle. What is that, you say? His new hustle is finding older, well-established women that are financially stable. They have good jobs. Some of them are still working. Some of them may have early retirement, but they have their own homes. If they have kids, their kids are older, and even if they probably have younger kids, the kids, they don't have to be taking care of them or whatever. And he sells them a dream, because now they've been saying, they were putting off not being with somebody, and some of them they was with somebody. They were married, but then it may not have worked out. Some of them, they left their husbands because they thought they could do better. Sometimes that happens. But then when you 50s and 60s, it's not the same. You can't keep on putting off, like, I don't need no man. It's not going to be the same thing. It's not going to be the same thing at all. So now you are in desperation mode. You're thirsty, you're dehydrated, and you're not thinking. And then you've been playing with your toys, or you still have that urge. So now any dream they sell you, you're gonna buy it. And that's what he does. From the time that I've known him, this is actually a true story. And just ain't saying the person's name, ain't saying exactly where I met him, but this is what he does. And weeks, he only stays in the shelter for weeks, because he can't get along with nobody. Nobody likes him, because he has very bad character. He's not a very good person. But he could pretend. He has a facade, that he has a character that he gets in and play these women. And then this is the thing, he sells you dream. That's why you have to be careful of certain men, especially the ones that want to live with you. They never ever really ask you, you know, can I? Okay, you have your own place. Can I move in with you? No, they don't never really. Not all of them. The majority of them, what they do, they tell you sad stories. Oh my God, I can't sleep. My roommate this, my roommate that, my mama this, my mama that, my sisters, they always touch my stuff. Oh my goodness, I work for 12 hours, and I thought I was going to get something to eat. There was nothing here to eat. Oh my goodness, my life. This is my life. So you can feel sorry for them and invite them to move in. Because they're never really going to ask you to move in, but they're going to give you enough so you can feel sorry for them. And then you got to say, okay, then, okay, you can come and live with me. I have a big house. I mean, I have 2 cars. You could drive one of those. I have a washer and dryer. You don't have to go through what you have to go through. I mean, and plus it could start with just them coming to stay over, just washing their clothes, getting something to eat, and then they see all that you have. Just like how Hezekiah showed the king of Babylon, look at all that I have. And then one day they came and plundered Israel. And that's what he does. He goes in and plunders these women for months. And then he's able to stay for months, 6 months, maybe a year, but it never lasts that long because he's always back. Oh, you back again? Yeah, man, it didn't work. Oh, she crazy. That's what he always said. She was crazy. She wanted to control, and he's never the problem. They are always the problem. He's never the problem. So now he just got I guess, a new hustle. He recently left. The lady bought, not, did she buy him a car? No, she rented him a car. She rented him a car so he could drive up to where he is. And then he lied, say, I'm gonna help you with this. I'm gonna help you with that. I'm a hardworking man. Lies. He's so lazy. But he sells them a dream. And I was telling my friend this, a guy friend that I have, who's the firefighter. I'm saying, you know what, DJ, he's not here anymore. He found this person, and they're gonna live together. And then he said, yeah, I have a friend just like him. Firefighter, no friend just like him, does the same thing. Go after older women who are established, single, and lonely, and desperate. See, not everybody may be single, but lonely because you are not meant to be alone. But you keep on pushing it off, and sometimes you may not, you may not reach until your 50s or your 60s, but you keep on pushing it off. You're pushing it off. Ain't like you sitting there, you getting new knowledge. Let me learn of the opposite sex. I was in other relationships, or I have maybe never been in relationships. If I ever would have think of ever being with somebody else, I would like to know, how to vet people, what flags, what are green flags, what are red flags, what questions to ask, how to test one's character, how to see if the person have morals and values, and see if they align with my morals and values. Let's see if this person has integrity, let me learn about themselves. But no, that's not what we do. And then in our lust, because sometimes you choose in your lust, sometimes you choose in your desperation, in your loneliness, in your frustration, because you keep on picking the same type of dudes, keep on keeping the same type of dudes, but you're not doing anything different. And then sometimes we end up attracting people that may take us out of this world. I mean, take everything that we work for, everything that the Bible tells you it's not good to trust in riches, in vanity, because they could be taken away from you. And there could be something that may happen in this world, something that may happen. Your money can't do anything for you. Your money can't do anything for you. Your big old condo can't do nothing for you. Your 3, 4 cars cannot do anything for you. But we put our hopes and our trust in what we have, what we have accomplished. And then because we work hard for it, because nobody ever did anything for us, we had to work to get what we have. So that's why I'm addressing her video, because there are many women that think like that. Though, like I said, she was getting in character. But to do the podcast, we're gonna take it as that is exactly how she thinks. I'm not gonna settle, because I don't have to settle, because I got everything that I want. Yeah, it would be good to have a man, but I mean, if he doesn't fit in the exact spot for me, then I can't do it. So he has to be above average, and like that's his. It's nothing wrong with you having standards, honey. But let our standards be rooted in reality. And if you have put in the work, when I say put in the work, not only, getting your degree, when I say put, let me clarify, when I say put in the work, not only getting your degrees and getting a good paying job, yeah, even though you may have student loans, but if you know how to make your money work for you, you could pay off your student loans. Come on, there's different stuff that you could do to pay your student loans off. Don't be letting people put you down. Oh, and don't be letting people say to you, oh girl, you got student loans, what you doing? There are different stuff you could do to pay off the student loans. But if you have put in the work, in a sense, not only, getting a good job, achieving that degree, those degrees that landed you a better paying job, a high paying job, but also getting the knowledge about relationships, about the opposite sex, what to look for, who you are, getting to know who you are. And then you're going to be able to make better decisions. And then when you have done all that work, you deserve better. And you should not settle for less. But it shouldn't be superficial. It should be superficial. Like, oh, this person, you find this good man. He's a good man. He loves you. He's he may not be exactly where he needs to be now, but he's working towards it. But he doesn't make 100K, or he doesn't make 200K or 300K and stuff like that. But there's potential for him that he can grow. It's just certain stuff, he's not making priority. There's certain certifications that he's supposed to be taking, he should be taking, and he's not making priority to do those certifications. So that's why he's kind of delayed. But even though he's not at that level money wise, but he checks off, a lot of the stuff that you're looking for. Why not go with that person? But he's not above average because he doesn't make the money yet. That's what makes him above. What makes a man above average? That's another question. What makes a man above average? Since average is not good for a lot of people. And I don't think we should be looking for average and above average people. We should be looking for a mate. We should be looking for a husband. We should be looking for a boyfriend. We should be looking for a girlfriend. That's what people used to be looking for a long time ago. Now people looking for average, but not people looking for average. People looking for above average. I'm looking for a good husband. I'm looking for a good girlfriend, a good boyfriend, a good wife. That's what people used to be looking for, but now I guess people looking for above average, high value woman. So that's all I had to say on the situations. Everybody should have standards. You have to have standards because you have to have something to compare what you're looking for to. If you don't have any standards, what are you going to compare to? But like I said, I think in my life, you need to know the difference between standards and preferences. You have to know the difference between that. They are not the same. We cannot confuse standards and preferences. Sometimes people are confusing standards and preferences, and they are not the same. Sometimes it's you have a lot of preferences and not really any standards, or maybe one or two standards, and you more leaning on a preference side, and that is making you miss out on people that was actually going to be compatible with you, even though they may have not been able to check off everything yet. But in the future, 2, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, you have time to wait for 10 years. But in 2, 3 years, 5 years, they was going to be where they needed to be. But I guess, and nobody say to build no man, because you're not supposed to build no man. Because I've heard people say, I ain't going to build a man. You're not supposed to build a man. You are helpmate. You see, that's why people don't know who they are. That's why they getting in all these conversations. You don't know. You are helpmate. I'm gonna help you to get where you need to get, but I'm not gonna do it for you. I'm not gonna make you do it. I'm gonna help you. Helping you means I can research and say, hey, you know, if you do the certification, it could make you look good for the boss. You could help. They could give you. You could maybe get a promotion or whatever. I could do the research. I could make a phone call. Hey, um, don't you aren't you the dean of this school in your yes, he was thinking about um getting more education. What you think? But the person still has to do it. You are a helper. You're not a doer. See, that's where you a lot of women get wrong. Look, I was going to finish now. I'm still going on. You are a helper. But then again, you know, you don't want that role because you are a helper, not the doer. You are a helper, not a doer. You're going to help the person. I could show you the way. I could help you by showing you the way. You know, I could help you by giving you advice. That's you. You're helping, not doing. You're not supposed to do it. Sometimes we do it. That's why we get tired. That's why we get frustrated. And then you making it. You making strides. And then we look behind. He never move because you were doing it for him. And then, of course, you're not compatible anymore because you're not in the same lane. Two people cannot walk together unless they're walking in the same direction. If I'm going west, you going east, that's two different directions. That's not the same direction. You are help as a woman, you are a helper, not the doer. Stop doing stuff for men. Stop doing it for them. You helping them. That's what the Bible says. You help beat. And you if you listen to the wrong podcast because we take biblical perspectives. You are a helper, not the doer. You're not doing it for him. You're not doing it for him. You help him. And there's so many ways to help. There's so many ways to help. But he has to do it because that's where you're gonna know if he's a leader. That's how you're gonna test if you have leadership abilities. I helped you by giving you advice, showing you the way, doing a few phone calls, and then I stand and see what you're gonna do. Y'all, let me get off this podcast because I go on. I doing too much. I doing too much. I doing too much. I all over the place. But thank you for everybody that's gonna tune in, like I do on a live. Thank you for everybody that tuned in today's podcast, and I will see you in another one. Bye.